to do another tomato review on this tomato right here, and this is called the Cranberries in Sugar. It actually goes under another name, which is in the Russian alphabet and Russian language, but if you translate it, it comes out to Cranberries in Sugar. And basically, the information on this and the correct spelling of the translation and everything will be in the title and description, and I'll list it that way under the original Russian language, and then I'll just put it in as Cranberries and Sugar, hyphenated or something. But it's the seeds were originally acquired from a Russian variety of seeds that I've ordered. All right, or it's either Russian or Ukrainian or something like that. Offhand, I don't remember exactly. I just know that the translation is in Russian, and a lot of other countries will, even though it's in, like for the Ukraine, for example, they may still sell products that, even though it's in Ukraine, it might be translated in Russian or written in Russian. So I don't remember the country offhand, but I know that we'll get everything straightened out in the title description as well as the website. So basically, this is a pretty good tomato as far as I remember, but I wasn't terribly impressed with the sweetness on it because I've been eating a few of these and I wasn't terribly impressed with it, but then maybe again, then I might be wrong. I just remember saying cranberries and sugar. It doesn't taste more like the cranberries without the sugar. You know how cranberries aren't sweet at all. They're kind of tardy, very tardy. You can't eat them really. Well, if they don't have sugar on them. If you eat raw cranberries, you know what I'm talking about. But this is what it looks like. It's basically a small plum or even an elongated cherry tomato. I don't remember if this is determinate offhand or if it's not. I think it grew like a determinate. It put out a bunch of tomatoes and then the plants basically died. And I only have a few of these left. But it wasn't a terribly strong producer. It did produce some. I think if you grow it out by itself, you'll get a lot more tomatoes. I grew it kind of crowded, didn't know what to expect from the variety. So when I do that, I usually don't do as good as I probably would if I grew it completely on its own. So let's show you the inside of the tomato. Okay, that's what it looks on the like on the inside. It looks very nice, very uniform. This particular one I cut in half doesn't look like it was fully ripened. I've been letting some of these sit out to ripen. They were picked kind of on the green side because I got to get the tomatoes out of the garden. As soon as the plant looked like it was failing, I picked all the tomatoes off of there, ripe and unripe, and just got them out of there because the birds are blasting holes this year. And so they are causing some damage. Let's take a look at the weight of this tomato. Try to get you on the scale. Now let's fire it up first. Give you an idea of the weight so you get an idea of what we're looking at as far as size goes. I'm doing this on purpose because it's really hard to determine the size of a tomato just by itself. A lot of times images will make tomatoes look a lot larger, but you don't know that until you see the weight. So I am going to start including the weight on these. Okay, 0.6, that's one of the larger ones. One of the smaller ones, probably going to be 0.4. 0.4. And here's another larger one. 0.5. So, just to give you an idea of the weight of what we're talking about here. It's under an ounce, and they're quite small. Okay? So, let's do a bricks on this. I'm going to pick another one of these tomatoes and cut it in half because I don't like the look of the one I cut in half. Look really unripe, and I already know that these tomatoes got a little bit of a tangy flavor to it. This is about one of the ripest I think I got in here. I'll give you a look at that. It's about as ripe as you're going to get on this. He's been sitting out for about a week and a half, maybe, something like that. All right, so let's do a bricks. See what we're doing with the bricks. Again, the bricks meter is for those who are looking for a tomato that falls within a certain bricks number. You can't always go by that, but I provide the bricks number for those people who want to order tomatoes based off of a bricks number. Why did I start doing that? Because people were asking me about what the bricks numbers of the tomato was. And so I figured I'd include it in the videos, and then that'll give you an idea of what the bricks is. Okay, so the bricks on this is about 5, a little bit under 5, just very slightly. So it's a little bit under 5, but it's a little low for this tomato. I do remember saying that the tomato was low in sweetness, but again, that could be my fault because I'm picking them green. Now you really should, if you really want to bring that sweetness to your tomatoes up, you gotta let them ripen on the vine. If you pick them early and you let them ripen on the table, a lot of times the starches don't necessarily convert quite the same way over the sugars, and the tardiness, it becomes more enhanced, it seems. So it's better to let your tomatoes ripen on the vine if you're looking to get more of a sweetness. Again, I picked a lot of these early, but this one I cut here should have been ripened on the plant because not all of them were ripened off of the plant. So let's give this a taste. Start off with the sweetness. Was generally pretty low, just like the indicator was telling me. It's a little bit under 5. Generally 5. Anything below, for a cherry-sized tomato like this, anything below 7 is generally not going to be a super sweet variety of tomato. It's generally going to be pretty low. In this particular case, it was low. Is that my fault? It could be, because I did pick a lot of them early. So maybe the sweetness might have something to do with it being low. But if I was to give this a number, probably go about a 21 on this. Wasn't quite middle of the road. There was some sweetness there, but not strong. It was definitely below average, or at least decent amount of sweetness would have been 25. Didn't even have a decent amount. It was definitely below that. I'm saying about 21, 22 would probably be a good number to put the sweetness on. Tangy part was also a little bit low. I'd say the tangy part was probably somewhere around maybe 25, 26 on the tangy. Wasn't that much higher. It was about middle of the road on the tangy. It was, it was about average basically. So it wasn't anything spectacular, wasn't overwhelming, but it wasn't, nothing there. It was just kind of middle of the road. So 25, 26 on the tangy. Tomato flavor wasn't bad. Wasn't something exquisite or anything like that, but I'd say it had probably an average tomato flavor on it. So between 0 to 10, I'm probably going to go right about in the middle. Just call that one a 5 on the tomato flavor. Not very impressed with it. It was pretty good, but it's all right. Go good in salads, pickling, things like that. Maybe tomato juices and stuff. Yeah, it's good for that in that sense. Now keep in mind, I always try to mention this now. These reviews are really referring to tomatoes in their raw state. Once you start cooking tomatoes into tomato sauce, pretty much all of this is kind of going out the window, because you're converting the flavors over massively, and when you cook them, and everything starts to change, the dynamics change. Really, the only thing that transcends from what I'm telling you now into tomato sauces would be the undertones. A lot of times the undertones transcend. Yeah, and the tomato flavor itself kind of has a lot to do with it too, but that flavor really changes a lot when you cook it. So just keep in mind, these reviews are based off of eating them raw and putting them in salads. I'm generally a raw tomato person, but I do cook my tomatoes as well. As far as the moisture goes, it was pretty good. I'm going to say it's a little above average. We'll go 6 on the moisture. Again, you need that moisture in there to deliver that tomato flavor to the back of your tongue. It really brings it forwards. You don't want dry tomatoes. Trust me, you don't want them dry. I don't even like making sauces with dry tomatoes, but this one was about a little bit above This one was a little bit above average. We're going to say 6 on that one. Tardy to sour, I'm definitely going to say there was a little bit of tardiness in there. Probably go 1 on the tardiness. Nothing too extravagant, but there was a little bit of a tardiness to it, that's the part that makes your mouth water, and that is different than being tangy. Tangy is like an acidy type of flavor. The tardiness really kicks in afterwards, and that's the part that makes your tongue want to, like not sweat, but like salivate. And that's the part that's going to bring that salivation out of you. And sometimes when tardiness is too strong, what ends up happening is it kind of stings you, makes your gums a little bit stingy. I look for that effect. That tells me a lot about tomatoes that might be a little bit stingy. Come on, Chico, go away. Okay, undertone-wise, there was maybe a little something on the undertones. I'm probably going to say undertone-wise, it would be 1. There was a slight undertone to it. It wasn't bad or anything, but there was a little something there. Maybe an earthy tone of some sort. I'm not 100% sure. Okay, texture-wise wasn't bad. I'm going to go about middle of the road on the texture. We'll say 5 on the texture. It broke up pretty nicely. The skins broke up with the rest of it. It wasn't like I had to chew them bad and spit skins out. It was nothing like that. It broke up with the flesh. The flesh was about an average consistency, and the skins weren't too tough, and they broke up with the flesh pretty nicely. So can't complain on that. So again, I'm going middle of the road on the texture. Production wise, it was a pretty good producer. I mean, it wasn't the best production wise. I mean, I did lose, I'd probably say maybe 10% of my tomatoes in general I lost this year because of birds blasting holes in them. So we're straightening that problem out too, by the way. But I did lose some of these tomatoes as well to the birds. So unfortunately, I can't give you a full production report, but it wasn't bad producing. If you grow it by itself, it'll probably grow pretty good. It wasn't multi-floor. It was a regular bract that the tomatoes grow parallel to each other, not perpendicular, where they stagger on the stem. So it was one of those kind. It was pretty nice producer. So just grow more than one plant, just so you know you're going to get enough of those. Now, I don't know if it's a determinate tomato or not. I think it's determinate because this plant, I believe, put out all its tomatoes and then died. So this might be a determinate variety. Offhand, I don't have that information in front of me. Again, I'll put all that in the description. So what would I rate the Cranberries and Sugar as far as a rating goes, from 1 being the best, you know, number 1, to 10 being like the lower end of it, basically? I would probably rate this one maybe around a 5. I'm going to say it's pretty average. The sweetness could have definitely been a little higher, but again, that could be partly my fault. It could just be that I was picking them early. The plants, they didn't have a chance to sit in full sun because they were getting crowded out by the other plants. Some of that could be my fault. Maybe not enough lime in the soil. So we're gonna do some things to change that around next year. We are gonna visit it again, grow it off in the containers or something, and see if we could get the taste and production of this tomato up a little bit. But it wasn't bad. So in general, I would definitely say it was about a 5. It's middle of the road type tomato. This will go fine with your salads and stuff like that. I make sauces with them and stuff. And you know, it's not nothing spectacular, but definitely middle of the road. It'll meet your standards if you know you're just looking for an average tomato. All right, so really, guys, that's about it. I don't know what else to say about this variety other than the information that I do have. I will put in the description of this video, and oftentimes, and I am mentioning this now, if I do update the information on this tomato, if you're looking to do a little research on the tomato and you're trying to update it, don't go just by what's in the description of the video. You got to visit the website, because if I update the listing of the tomato, it's going to be done on my website, and I don't always go back and do it on my videos. So just go to the website, double check to see if there's any updates on there if you're looking for the information, and then get what you want off of there from there. That's the only thing I can tell you. Again, I can't guarantee I'm going to update the video description. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. And I will also leave a link in the description of the page for, you know, for the seeds on my website. So you'll be able to visit this page directly to the website. And again, if you go there right after I upload the video, the page may not be built yet. So give it about a week and a half, something like that. And then the page should be built, and then you should be able to go over. So if you're clicking on the link and you're getting a 404 or something like that, it just means the page isn't built yet. So you have to go back to, you're going to have to just go back to the to that page in about a week or so, and that page should be built, right? And it will be up later on. It's just trying to get to all these pages. They take time to build. So anyway, guys, I got to go. This is my tomato review for the Cranberries and Sugar. I don't know how you say it in Russian. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.